What the freak is up? Welcome back to the vlog. Hi you guys, I'm so happy you're here. First, let me start there. I love you, I love you, I love you, and I see you, and thank you for being here. And welcome to my part 2 Sober in My 20s series. I'm so excited. If you have not seen part 1, go ahead and check that out first. Go take a look at that. I don't know why I just did that. Okay, so for the part 2, I literally was jogging my juicy giant brain about what I wanted to talk about, because I just feel like while there's so much to talk about when it comes to a sober journey, it's also like, where do I even start? You know what I mean? And it's like, what is even worth for y'all to want to sit and watch? Hear me yap for a good amount of time. And so I landed on, I think, the #1 question that I've been receiving recently is, girl, how did you do it? How are you sober? How are you remaining sober? It's so difficult. How? So my part 2 of my Sober in My 20s series will be how I got sober and things that helped me along the way. And while there's a lot going on in this thick, juicy, giant brain of mine, I could sit here for hours and yap your brain off. I was able to curate a list of 10 things that really helped me. 10 juicy, delicious. Cely. And before we get into it, I would like to just put out a little bit of a disclaimer. That's me basically saying I don't claim to know anything about anything, okay? This is just me sharing my own personal experience. Let's be super safe. Talk to medical professionals about it. Talk to your family, your friends about it. But yeah, I hope this video helps at least one person out there, and that will have made me feel fulfilled. So let's just jump right into it. #1, squad up, baby. Ew. I'm so cringe. Build a support network, okay? I think this is really, this is probably the most important thing, community. I feel like when I first started off, I mean, I've only ever really gone to my family for things, and I have a few really amazing close friends that really were the backbone during my first few months with sobriety. I will say the community is something that has definitely grown. I'm in a much better place now with community, and that takes time. I think it could be a very lonely experience, especially if you're in your 20s. So do not get discouraged if you are feeling a bit lonely. I was definitely there. I am now in a community where I've found so many more friends that are so like-minded, whether they struggled with alcohol before or they just never really drank in the first place and they don't drink now. It's amazing to find people who have those commonalities, because then you're interested in the same things, you know, or you want to go out for coffee, or you want to go out and try a kava bar. I recently did that with my friend Cal. Hey Cal, love you. But it's just the coolest thing. And again, have patience with that. But I think in the beginning, definitely lean on your friends, your family, and you'd be surprised. Even friends who would never even think about, you know, not drinking, you'd be surprised how many people would just be so curious about wanting to know more about what you're experiencing and wanting to support you. So open up to them a little bit, even though it could be very scary, but I promise you, it also could be very worth it. The biggest thing in something like this is having people that you can go to when you're not feeling 100% there yourself. And of course, there's other resources like AA, there's groups that you can go to, therapy. I'm very grateful and blessed to have the family that I have who were there with me every step of the way, and they don't even drink really at all. But even just being able to call my sister and my brother or my mom and them kind of talking me through any emotions that I might be having was a huge help. So that's #1. Period slay, girl queen. #2, be a hobby hopper. Hobby hopper, girl. Get into them new hobbies. I promise you, this is like the best thing. It's like the coolest thing. I have so many new little niche hobbies that make me so much more of an interesting person, in my opinion. I got into like DIY clay. I love to make little fridge magnets. I love to make my friends little gifts. It's so much fun. I would say this is a fun one because you don't need to be like an expert to make some of these things. So definitely check that out. I also got into junk journaling. I got an iPad, so I'm also a giant iPad baby. You can get all the apps, play a ton of games. Good Notes is currently my obsession right now. I'm obsessed with making it look pretty and planning out my entire life. Painting, hiking, joining sports. The cool thing about this is like it literally makes you such a cool person. Like I genuinely feel like such a cool girl with all of the niche like interests that I have. Like I collect calico critters. I'm getting back into Legos. Like I think it goes hand in hand too with taking care of your inner child and kind of bringing that out of you again. I just feel like I'm so much more cool and colorful because of this journey. Hobbies. #3 is to set set clear goals. It's so important to get clear about your sobriety goals. A lot of people have asked me like, oh, is this just for a moment in time, or do you want to do it forever? My goal is forever. And forever could be a very, very scary word, which honestly was the one thing that deterred me. It was the one thing that scared me. It's the one thing that really scared me, because I was like, what do you mean forever? Forever sounds so big and scary, and I don't know about forever, you know? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, if I get married one day, I'm not gonna like celebrate and have a drink. Like, it was a very scary thing, right? But once I got clear on the fact that I want the rest of my life to look like me remembering everything and me feeling good and being someone who people can trust, and that I can trust myself, that I'm not just gonna, you know, cancel plans the next morning because I'm hungover, or show up late to dates with friends with last night's makeup on. I love being a trustworthy person, and when I really got clear on what those goals meant and what my life would look like potentially because of that, it gets so much easier. But without those goals, without a clear path of like, this is who I want to be, this is what I want my life to be, makes it so much harder to actually get anywhere, because you don't even know where you're going, you know? So definitely set those clear goals, and don't be afraid of the time. Whether your goal is 1 week, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever it may be, I think getting super, super honest and real about what you want out of it and how you envision yourself at the end of that goal, it's huge. Número 4, develop healthy coping strategies. So, me speaking for myself, alcohol is my coping mechanism, okay? Any minor inconvenience, I'm pouring a shot. A guy who didn't text me back, I'm going out to the bar and drinking. Feeling a little nervy? Oh, that's nothing a little mimosa can't fix. Literally all hours of the day, I was like, I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I think for a lot of us, it is a coping mechanism. It stops being this thing to enhance a celebration or enhance a special moment, and it starts being a thing that you turn to for like this easy access, instant gratification. And finding other ways to soothe yourself when you are uncomfortable is huge. And obviously it's like therapy would be like a huge one, right? But not everybody has access to that. So I think finding little things that will help you in those moments, whether that's journaling, exercising, calling a friend, putting on one of your favorite comfort movies, literally anything except for going and picking up that bottle is gonna be a game changer, because I know that's what it was for me. I really leaned into praying, and not even just some normal praying, girl, some like on the floor, on my knees, tragedy, bawling my eyes out. What's wrong with me, God? But hey, it got me through. For me, I think talking to God is a huge one. Find those alternative coping strategies and go. You gonna be feeling good, okay? Number 5, avoid triggers, okay? I think in the beginning of my sober journey, I was still doing the same things that I was doing when I was drinking, just not drinking anymore. And then I was wondering, why am I not feeling good? It's like, girl, it's because you're out at the bar with these people that you don't even like. Putting yourself in these situations, you have to understand that when you make such a huge life change, your life has got to change too. Everything else change. It's a huge change, okay? Change. It is a huge, huge change. Everything changes. And I think a lot of times there's this resistance, right? Like we stop doing this thing. We're like, okay, we're not going to drink anymore, but we're still trying to hang out with Lucy, who gets plastered every Friday night, or any chance, which like, love Lucy, love you, girl. No, there's no Lucy, but you know what I mean? And we can't keep putting ourselves in front of people that kind of tempt you or bring out that person that you want to shed. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be going to social gatherings or going to events or going to see your friends. 100% still do that. But I think that being at the club till 3 a.m. with people that don't even necessarily care about you and your well-being, who said that? Is the best thing for when you're trying to do better, be better, feel better. Clock it. And that's also to say that is very much in the beginning of your sober journey, because I think I'm 8 months in and I'm like, I am built like steel, girl. Put me in any situation. But the thing is, now I don't want to be in those situations. Now I'm like, what am I doing? I don't want to be here, and you get more honest with yourself about these things. And it is just the biggest, most amazing feeling, because you're like, I know exactly who I am. I know exactly where I don't want to be. And I'm not going to put myself in these uncomfortable situations just because, for what? For what? For what? You are the cool girl. They are not the cool ones. Okay, they're also probably very cool. You know, we're all cool. We're all God's children and all. But like, you are the prize, as Lori Harvey says. Like, it's you. You are the cool person. What you want to do is amazing. Being authentic and staying true to yourself, that is the cool thing. Okay? Remember that. Number 6, and I think it's a very important one, okay? Because I don't think I did very good on this one, and I'm sharing this one because it's something that I wish that I would have done, is educate yourself. My brother got on me because my brother is a PA, or he's in PA school. Shout out. He's in New Orleans at Xavier. I probably shouldn't be giving his whereabouts, but anyway, he's very intelligent. And when he told me that it's very dangerous to quit cold turkey, I was like, I didn't know that. I had no idea. And when I was drinking a lot, you guys, and I didn't experience like a crazy like withdrawal period. But what I will say is there was one day when I was talking to my sister and I was like, I can't say that I'm depressed because I know I've seen what depression looks like, and it would be irresponsible of me to be like, I'm depressed, you know, when I know that it's not that. But I was having a really difficult time in the beginning stages of my sobriety, like finding pleasure in the things that I used to find pleasure in, right? Like, I love my job, for example. I love clocking in. I love getting up, putting my makeup on my vanity, listening to my favorite music, jamming out, sitting down and filming videos. And for a while, I think like the first few months of my sobriety, I was like, why I was dreading getting out of bed, you guys. I was dreading getting out of bed to get my makeup on and to get in front of a camera. Like, I would just be thinking like, I don't want to do anything today. And it was so weird because I've never experienced anything like that. And I was like, I know I'm not sad. Like, I'm actually really happy with my life right now. So why is my body having a different like story to tell right now? Like, why is my body being like, girl, no, I don't want to do what your brain is saying? It was very weird. Very, very weird. And I was explaining that to my sister, and she said this word. I can't remember the word for the life of me, but I'm going to have it on the screen with its definition. And when she was like, wait, it's this. I was like, wait, I actually think, yeah, what is that? And so then I started doing my research, educating myself. And apparently it's a side effect to people in their early stages of their sobriety. People who are getting sober experience this. And I'm like, wow, the more you know. I probably wouldn't have been freaking out so much because I would have been like, you know what, this is just part of the process. And I would have, you know, been a little kinder to myself, because while I was going through that, I was like, stupid, like just not being kind to myself. I was like, girl, what is wrong with you? It was like I was having these human emotions, but not allowing myself to feel them because my brain was like, girl, you should be happy. You're in a good place in your life. So why are you having these feelings of dread when it comes to the things that you know that you love? It was very strange. So be aware of that. And I think that it's literally just in doing some research, because I think going back, if I would have known that this was a side effect, I would have been so much more kind to myself. I would have been like, it's okay, Cel. It would have been so much more nice to me, you know? Also, the reading and the podcast of it all was a huge help for me. Jay Shetty and Tom Holland's podcast alone, I used to see clips of it all the time, and I finally got to sit down and watch the whole thing, and it was so incredible. Just the insight that people share on their journeys, and reading books. I'll have a few of the books that I read, but I think one of the biggest helps for me was Sober Girl Society Handbook. I don't know if it's just because like the girl's voice who was reading it, she has an English accent, and she was so girly pop and cute, and just the book is so girly pop and cute. One thing about me, I'm over here talking about the aesthetic of it all and the girly pop of it all, but why does it actually help? Like, but unfortunately, it's true. I love a good girly pop. And the Sober Girl Society Handbook, I loved it. For any girly pop cuties out there, I definitely recommend listening to her audiobook too. As an ADHD girly, a lot of people are like, girl, how do you read that much with ADHD? And it's definitely immersive reading. If you pop in some headphones, listen to the audiobook while you're following along with your actual hardcover. I know that may seem like it's like doing the most. It is doing the most. I will admit it's doing the most. But for me, the most is where I live, okay? And it really does help me. And so that's my little, treat to y'all. Take it, leave it. I don't know. That's your business, okay? Knowledge, podcasts, documentaries, books, understanding the ins and outs of sobriety and the health benefits, just literally everything is just so empowering and can really, really help you through your journey as well. Number 7, self-care. This is my favorite one. Self-care. I'll pop it for self-care any day, girl, okay? And I think that just goes for anybody, anywhere, at all times. I think self-care should just be a regular thing. I love self-care, you guys. I'm like, maybe just a little treat. And that can look like anything. It could look like treating yourself with maybe a meal that you don't regularly have, exercising, journaling, meditating, taking a nice little bath. It's all so, so important. Because I think it just reminds yourself that, like, you're human. I always think of myself as, like, this is this carcass. I'm thankful for this carcass that my soul chose. Like, I love it. It's like my little avatar. I don't know if any of you guys play Roblox. You know the little like moving characters on Dress to Impress? I'm like, that's literally us. And you know when you're like playing a video game and you have your little avatar and you love that avatar so much. Treat your person as such as well. Think of like your favorite comfort animal, stuffed animal growing up. How much you loved it, how much you took care of it, how much you freaked out if you saw a thread coming out, or if you saw it getting a little bit dirty. Feeling when you're like, no, not my perfect little stuffed animal. Why not take care of ourselves the way that we take care of our little avatars that we love so much, or the way that we take care of our pets? Oh my goodness, our pets, our kids. I've gotten into the practice of like hugging myself a lot. Like literally before bed, I'll hug myself and say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it just helps me kind of like, I know it sounds so cringe and so stupid, but I promise you try it and you'll never be the same. But just like hugging yourself and loving on yourself is a huge game changer, because it just reminds you of how important you are. You are so important. Your health is important. The things that you put into your body are important. I mean, think about it. If you think about it, would you put poison in your dogs? No, you don't let your dogs eat grapes. You don't let your dogs go sniffing around their poop when they try to eat it. No, you're like, get off of that. That's not for you. Your vessel is the same and should be treated with the same respect. Don't let yourself eat poop, okay? Just the same way you don't let your dogs eat poop. Don't do it. Don't do it. Number 8 is stay busy. A lot of these go hand in hand with one another, but staying busy is a huge one, whether that be with your passion projects, which is my personal favorite way to stay busy, volunteering, joining clubs, hitting up your friends that you haven't seen in a while. I recently started, I talk about this all the time, but the AMC list entourage thing, Calvin made the Stub Club, and it has really, I talk about the Stub Club so much because it has genuinely came into my life at the perfect time. It's all about alignment. Like, it's not a coincidence that I decided to get sober, and then all of a sudden I'm going to see movies every Friday night, and I'm meeting so many wholesome friends. Like, it's so insane. Like, you can't look me in the eye and tell me that God's not real. In terms of me thinking about the way my life has panned out since I've decided to go sober, I've just met the most incredible people that are just like, yeah, I don't drink too, and I'm just like, huh? It blows my mind, you guys. But definitely staying busy in any way that you can. Sign up for that workout class that you've been wanting to do for a really, really long time. Literally anything. I think filling up your space with things that get you active gives you less time to sit at home being sad about the life that you used to have, that you don't want. Let me remind you, that you don't want. Number 9 is journal your journey. It has been incredible to see my progress literally on paper, y'all. Like every thought from the beginning to how I feel now, it's just insane. And I go back and I read old journal entries and I'm just like, wow, I'm so proud of her. She doesn't even know how much better it gets. And it's the coolest thing to just have that little log. It's so therapeutic too, just like brain drain. You can get more specific and start writing down your goals. I think just writing it down, getting it on paper, especially for the people who may not maybe have a lot of friends that they can confide in, getting it out is so important. So who better to get it out to than a piece of paper that's not going to go snitching on you, you know what I mean? But I just think it's super important and a great habit to get into, because I think it really just helps with like mental clarity and getting all of those emotions out. Journaling is incredible, you guys. I think it's huge in helping you process your emotions. Like I said, reflecting on your progress, whether you're feeling good, whether you're struggling a little bit, it's really important, I think, to document everything. Number 10 and the final step is to be patient with yourself. I get a lot of messages of people being like, girl, I just relapsed for the second time, or I've relapsed. Be kind to yourself. Be so ferociously kind to yourself, because it is not easy. And I think that people forget. I will get like some messages here and there, people being like, you really gotta let us know it's month 6 or it's month 7. What may seem insignificant to somebody else is not insignificant to me. It's huge for me. I was the girl who was like, take a shot, you know? It's like, this is huge for me, especially that it's like the first year. Heck yes, I'm gonna update you guys on when it's 8 months and 27 days. Like, actually, matter of fact, let me tell y'all how many days it's been for me as of right now. 260 days. Thank you very much. That is 8 months and 15 days total. And counting. It's like, that is huge for me, and don't let anybody take that away from you, because I think it's so easy for people to be in their grumpy little walks, which, like, you know, I send you love because you got to be hurting way more than me to be sending hate, right, in the first place. But it's like, don't let anybody deter you from celebrating all of the little moments and the little victories, because they're not little. They're not all little. All those little victories make up the big picture. I just think that it's important to understand that, you know, recovery or sobriety is not a linear process. It's gonna move like your tiacaro on the dance floor, you know? Like, what is going on? So give yourself some grace. Give yourself all the grace, actually. You're doing your best, and that's all that matters. One of my favorite quotes is, give sobriety as many chances as you gave alcohol. That always snaps me right back into place, because I can't tell you guys how many times I was like, oh, like, yeah, now I'm gonna drink the right way. Like, now I'm gonna be good. Now I'm gonna go out and I'm never gonna get to this place again where I'm like crying over something I did when I was drunk or whatever. And I would always end up back in the same place. Like, girl, you're not fooling anybody. But it was really so many times I tried to gaslight myself and convince myself that, like, this time was different. This time it's gonna be different. This time I'm not gonna let it get out of hand. It's like, you gave alcohol that many chances. Don't give up on yourself with sobriety, because what's on the other end is so beautiful. And that's not to say, I feel like I lean to the words beautiful and amazing, and it's, you know, rainbows and butterflies over here. It's hard. It's really, really hard, and it is a choice every single day, but I promise you, it is something that you can do. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because I've been getting so many messages from people just being like, girl, how do you do it? It's so hard. And I'm like, I hear you. And I try to respond to literally everybody that I can, because I'm like, I love you guys so much, and this has been such a big thing in my life that I never thought was going to be this impactful. I never thought I'd be sat here making these videos talking about sobriety. It just blows my mind the way life takes you sometimes, but I'm so, so grateful for it. And if I could help literally anybody, I'd be fulfilling such a huge space in my heart. It's not easy, you guys, and I don't want people to think like, oh, Cely has it all together and Cely has it all figured out. I don't, okay? I am the bottom of that list, girl. I'm figuring it out every single day, but the one thing that I can tell you is sobriety makes it a whole of a hell lot easier to deal with the stresses of day-to-day things in this political climate and this with everything that's going on in the world. I'm just so happy that I'm fully here and I'm coherent to handle it, you know? And not to mention, my skin is glowing, girl. Look at that. Like, you can't deny the facts. The proof is in the pudding. Successful people that are also sober. I don't know why I just find that so motivating. Like, it's just so cool to me to see the things that people have achieved, because I'm like, sobriety has to be such a huge part of that. Like, Doechii, just at the Grammys, was saying that she dedicated her life to sobriety. And obviously, that's not to say that she's not the most, like, creative, talented person in the industry right now, okay? I don't want to take away from that, but you can't deny the fact that, like, sobriety has to be such a huge factor in that. Like, she really allowed herself to go to those deep places, like, to be able to do the things that she does. She has been through some shit, and she has fully allowed herself to feel that, heal from that, and now she's getting in there and bringing that creativity to light. I feel like one of the biggest common misconceptions is like, oh, I need this shot of tequila to perform, or I need this shot of tequila, or I need this drink to be funny, or in order to sit down and finally get myself to write, I need to have a beer or whatever to get the creative juices flowing. You don't. And I think that people like Doechii are the epitome of the fact that you don't, and you actually could do more if you put that bottle down, girl. Anyways, that's a whole other video. That is a whole other video for a whole other day. But I will just get carried. Again, like I said, I'm just word vomit when it comes to this topic, because I could talk about it forever. I'm going to leave you guys with this quote, though, from Lady Gaga that I love so much. If I could just find it in my notes. Here it is. I had to stop drinking because I was getting sick. I realized that I was not going to be able to be the person I wanted to be if I continued drinking. And I think when people ask me, like, why did you do it? It's this. And I don't shy away from the fact that I was struggling. It makes me get choked up whenever I think about it. But I thought I was going to get through this whole video without crying, but I think that it really boils down to realizing you're not going to be able to do the things you want to do, reach the level that you want to reach, be the person that you envision yourself to be with this thing in your life, you know? And that alone is just the biggest motivator in continuing. And if you're watching this video and you're just a little bit curious, give yourself a big fat juicy juicy hug and tell yourself, like, thank you for even getting here, for even clicking on this video, for even being interested or wanting to learn more. It's huge, you guys, in a world where it's shoved in our faces, in a world where it's so easy to be so sad at what's going on in the world to just think, what's the point? And let me just, crack a bottle open. Trust me, I know, I have been there. And now I drink water out of my Twilight tumbler. You know what? I'm gonna close with this because I've been yapping for too long, but I'm gonna close with an 11th secret menu tip, if I may. Get yourself a cute tumbler. Get yourself a cute tumbler, whether that's a blank one and you add stickers to it, whether that's a blank one and you Sharpie all over it writing affirmations that you love. For me, personally, I am a Twilight obsessed little monkey, and so this is mine. And fill it with ice, or if you're no ice girly, that's okay too. And fill it with water. And I promise you, it is such a cool girl hack. Like, I'm like, look at me drinking my water. Yeah, I'm staying hydrated. Skin is glistening. Not a pimple in sight because I'm hydrated. That's a lie. I have a pimple right here. And many others that we're not going to talk about. But a little 11th tip there for you on the secret menu. Get yourself a cutie little tumbler and walk around with it and fill it with water and bask in the glory of being the most hydrated queen that you know. I love you guys so, 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 so much. If you are on the same journey, I see you. I love you. You can do it. You could do anything that you set your mind to. Oh, wait, there was another little cute quote that I heard that was like, when you feel like giving up, your brain is only at 40% capacity, or it's only at 40% what you've given to something. There's still a whole 60% that you can tap into. So when you start to feel like, oh, I don't know that I could do this anymore, I have to tap out, I don't know that I have anything left in me. Girl, you're only at 40%. You have to tap in and keep going because there's a whole 60% left. Can you believe that? It blew my mind. 60% left when you feel like giving up. You've got this. I love you. If you have any questions, my DMs are open. I try my hardest to get back to anyone. But girl, I also got a life to live, okay? But I will try. I love you. I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you a million forehead kisses. You've got this. I'm proud of you. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that you're proud of yourself. And yeah, stay super freaky. I love you.